Hey guys, it's Toy here, and today I've got something I think some of you will be interested in. Maybe you won't, but at least two of you out there are going to be interested in this. Today, we're going to be discussing pulse extenders, some things they can be used for, different ones you can make, and how they work. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so for those of you that are tuning in that are just asking yourself, what is a pulse extender? Well, it's exactly that. It takes a redstone pulse and it extends it. So we can see here, this button, we press it, light comes on. When the button comes back up, the light cuts off. Over here, press the button comes back up, the light stays on for several more ticks after that. That's the idea behind of a pulse extender. So, this doesn't have to go to a lamp. It can go to any redstone thing that you want. So if you wanted to set it up to a clock to where the clock only goes off for a set amount of time, this is a way that you can change that. So now let's get into how it works. I will spare you some of the the details because it gets a little confusing, but the idea is comparators go off of the signal strength that comes through them, and there is a little bit of a delay. I'm not going to pretend to know how many ticks and all, so just bear with me. But basically, you get the full signal strength going into the back. It goes down by 1 when it goes right here. But let's just say you start off with 12. You've got 12 signal coming out, 12, it reads 12, puts out 12. It's 11 when it gets back here. And each time it cycles around, it goes down 1 tick until finally it runs out. So whereas here, you just have full signal strength and then it's gone, here, actually, it's slowly going down. And I can show you that by putting an observer right here. We do that, and then we put a lamp behind it. You can press this button. You can see it flashes each time the redstone changes. So each time it flashes is the redstone strength going down by 1. So that's the idea behind them, and that's how they work. Let's go into a few different examples of how you can make them. This is your most basic, just having 2 comparators facing opposite directions with redstone going around. This one does not have a block. This one has a block. This one is going to last a little bit longer because the signal strength only goes down on one side right here. So for each time that this one goes down 1 tick, this one goes down twice. So after the button is off, this redstone signal will last half as long as this one does. So just to show you, both of them come on, this one goes off, now that one goes off. That's the most simple one you can make. There's nothing fancy to it, and that's just something you can do to change how long it stays on. One thing just to show you that the 2 redstone being next to each other is important. If we swap that out and put a block, this one will never actually go off because it's going to consistently read the full signal strength because it never has a chance to go down. So if we had 15, it's still 15 and 15 and so forth. It'll never go off. That's why you only have the block on one side. But this is your most common one, and in most redstone contraptions that you're going to be doing, this would be the one that you're going to go for. This one is a much smaller pulse extender, but it's just 1 comparator, a block in front of it, over it, behind it, and you have redstone over all 3 of them. So whenever this comparator gets activated, it activates this one, it goes down 1, then 2. So this one is actually twice as fast as what this one is, and it's a little bit harder to tell because if you just do this, you can see it stays on a little bit of extra time, but it's hard to tell. So I like to give you a baseline to compare it to. See, this one goes off, now that one. It's not much longer, but it does make a little bit of a difference. Just to kind of branch out here, I'm going to show you one of the main things that I would use pulse extenders for and why that small amount of time difference would make a difference. Alright, so what I have here is the same 2 pulse, or the 1 pulse extender versus the baseline with sticky pistons pushing observers to make a little clock going into a dropper that has items inside of it. Now, I have used this for gambling machines. I have used it for, not randomizers, what am I looking for here? To get a certain amount of items to go into a hopper to do different things. There's a bunch of different things you can use it for, but just to show you the difference, let's see, we're going to get rid of this. Now let's pick up the bricks on this side. And there we go. We got 5. Now over on this side, we got 8. So it makes 3 item difference whenever you use it like that. Just to show you that little bit of a time difference can be important depending on what it is that you're trying to do. All right, now we're gonna get into a much longer pulse extender here. This one's a little rudimentary as far as how I have it set up. It's just for proof of concept. But we have this, the first pulse that comes out of the button that goes to a T flip-flop, that'll turn the lamp on. The lamp will not go off again until the item falls through the cobweb and lands in the hopper. And you can add more cobwebs, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do 1, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. So the light's already on, because it takes a while for it to go through cobwebs. So, I mean, if you put more of these, it's going to last even longer. But you can imagine if the little short pulse extender over there put out 8 items going into an observer clock like that. You can only imagine what this one would do. And now it's off. But you can see, like, there's a bunch of different ways you can make pulse extenders, and they're not that complicated. I mean, even the longer ones, they're really not complicated, because even for something like this would save you from using a lot of comparators, because to get something a similar length as that, you would have to use a large amount of comparators. And with that, let me show you right now. Okay, the closest I was able to get to it being a similar time was using 3, 6, 9, 12 comparators here. And it lasts a little bit longer, but if I take off any comparators, then it's shorter. So this is the closest that I've gotten it. But just to show you, like, that you condense this down a little bit, it's significantly easier than using comparators. Also, I ignore the flashing. Again, proof of concept, not telling you to use this. I would not recommend using this many comparators in a pulse extender. Bad idea. You probably have to put a pulse extender before the pulse extender to keep it from flashing. No, we don't do that. We're going for more efficient, smaller. Now, the reason I tell you that we don't use that is because we have much better options for creating very long pulse extenders. If you're interested in Redstone, which if you're watching this, I assume you are, you're familiar with an etho hopper clock. The 2 hoppers with comparators pushes a redstone block back and forth. There's about 1.5 million tutorials on YouTube for it. You can find one. But if you build that, put a block with a redstone torch next to one of the pistons, you now have a pulse extender. Because now whenever you press this button, however many items you have in this hopper, it's going to travel all of them to the right side and then put all of them back to the left side while the lamp's on. So right now I only have 5 items in there. So we do this, it's going to do all 5 items over there, and then it will do all 5 items back, and then it goes off. Now, you could probably see how this can go as far as extending it, because now let's do this with 32 items in there. We're gonna see this light's gonna come on, and it's gonna stay on long enough for you to go like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoy this sort of content, I love doing tutorials. If you have any requests, you let me know. And not to mention, I have a Let's Play series going. That one's a lot of fun. You should definitely check that out. And now you have created a pulse extender long enough to give yourself a shameless promotion, and it's off. So this would be the way to go for creating one that's long, because you can do, that was 32, so you can just imagine if we put 5 stacks of items in there. I'm not going to make you sit there and watch it, but just to show you that it will it will work. Put all those in there, this gets pushed over. This piston can't go out because this one's extended. So it's going to stay there until all of this goes over. So just imagine all those are getting pushed over, boom, and now all of them have to come back before it comes off. So you can definitely create some very long pulse extenders with this. Now, with that being said, you could chain these up back to back. I can't imagine what you would need a pulse extender like that for, but you could. Just for the fun of it, while we're already here and you have stuck around this long into the video, let's see what that would look like. Alright, with a little bit of redstone in between, just a falling edge monostable circuit here to send a pulse when this one goes off. A small pulse extender here. See, I told you they get used. I had to use it for my longer pulse extender anyways, but this keeps the light on while it's transferring from one to the other. Right now I have it set up with 5 items in each one, but you can see I press the button, the light comes on. This one goes through its full cycle. Then when it cuts off, this observer is going to come back, send a pulse, and then it starts the other one. The light still has not gone off. And then once this one finishes its cycle, the light then goes off. So if we were to fill both of these hopper clocks up, this light would stay on for a very unreasonable amount of time. But just goes to show you, pulse extenders are not something to be scared of. They are very useful. And I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who have stuck around, I have a surprise. I just wanted to say thank you all so much for watching. It means a lot for all the support, all the viewers, all the comments that I've gotten. You all are fantastic, just like this pig. I appreciate you. And if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see the new videos and you will know when I am going live. But until next time, I'm Toy Reaper and I hope you the best. I'll be catching you in a Let's Play video pretty soon. Thank you so much. I'll see ya.